Public address announcer Brian Snow announcing the Gateway Steam lineup here at the Kroc Center, Chicago. The Steam getting set to take on the Windy City Groove. Brandon McGill, Raymond Jarrett, Terrell Williams, the 3-guard alignment. Tarvin Gaines, recent signee, along with Lee Fisher on the forward line for Darrell Robinson's Gateway Steam. 3 in a row in the win column. Now let's take a look at who's coming in for the Groove. We see Kenyon Smith will get the call, along with Andre Johnson. Levante Douglas will also get the call at center. Devion Jenkins and Nathan Fuqua will round out the starting lineup. Fuqua on the season, averaging 19.7 a game. He's also the leading rebounder at 8 rebounds a game.
And now here's the starting lineup for the Windy.
And I tell you, if the Gateway Steam had any size to them, they would be really, really dangerous in this league. They've got some athletic, small to mid-range guys.
Well, you would figure with the addition of Tarvin Gaines at 6'7", to go along with Fisher at 6'6", Christopher Williams will come off the bench at 6'7", B.J. Benning and Will Kirksey both 6'8". You should have a sizable advantage. Let's not forget starter Raymond Jarrett at 6'6" as well.
You look at their sizes, though. They don't have anybody that's that size and bulky. Because you've got guys like Keith DeWitt and Marcus Good in St. Louis. You've got Anthony Slack and Matt Sally in Bloomington. You've got Liven Pyfram and Aaron Weaver and those guys in Champaign. You've got Ronnie Carwell and Antoine Ware in Chicago.
We have the referees Oleziak taking care of our game today. Forrest, the grandson, will throw it up. He'll be flanked by grandfather Ron Sr. and Dad Ron Jr., who filled in last game at the end of what was an exciting showdown between the Chicago Force.
Fantastic game.
I mean, I was telling somebody during the break, I said, now this is a game that truly showcases the league for what it is. And that's great young competition, and these kids, the Flex and the Force, really gave folks a show here. Johnson will jump against Gaines. The tip will come to the Steam in the red. It'll be Brandon McGill to start the offense. We are using the NBA rule book as a template here in the MPBA. The step back J by Tarvin Gaines will fall. And that's how he's been since coming to the team from Brazil. Kenyon Smith around the screen of Levante Douglas, loses the ball. And that's been the one bugaboo for Windy City. They cannot, for whatever reason, stop making a pack of mistakes that will unfortunately allow them to lose the lead. That one off of the hands of Raymond Jarrett. The team as a whole averaging 16.9 turnovers a game, that being Windy City. You got to clean that up. Nathan Fuqua gets it to Smith. Douglas to Smith again from the free throw circle. We're tied.
Kenyon Smith has picked up his game as of late.
Man, steal and score by Smith, and quickly the Windy City Groove with their first lead at 4-2. Unlike the Chicago Force, who needed to get almost to the second quarter to get their first lead. Now almost a push off that time by Terrell Williams. Immediately, Jake Anderson set to come in for the Steam.
Jake Anderson, formerly the leading scorer for the Steam. Now Darrell Robinson choosing to bring him off the bench.
Jared with a nice baseline J. We're tied at 4. Handy Johnson in his second home game with the Groove. His third home game. Long three is good for Devion Jenkins. Boy, he has been a welcome addition to the Groove since being picked up back in February. 7-4 in favor of the Groove. Here's the feed inside to the big fella. He got it. Tarvin Gaines, but I tell you, if he didn't come so late, I would dare say he would be impact player. Whoa, steal and score right there. Brandon McGill says, I do unto you what you did to me. 8-7 now, just that quick. Fuqua backing up at Terrell Williams. Douglas on the baseline. He starts his drive. Get that out of here. Foul called. It's on Fisher, it looks like. I'll tell you, Lee Fisher used to be, you're right, he actually is the leading scorer considering the number of games he's got. As Levante Douglas hits the first of two, the 6'7" forward out of Missouri Western will tie this game up at 8. Raymond Jarrett out. Jake Anderson from Iowa State in. Or is that? Yep, that's him. That is him, all right. Douglas will give the Groove the lead back at 9-8, 9:45 for the quarter. Steam in 4th place starting this week. They're at 4-9. They're on a 3-game win streak. There are 3 wins coming against both Chicago teams, 2 against the Force. Double team, jump ball, says Ron Sr. So it'll be Fuqua and McGill to jump in the circle to our left. So here goes the jump. Tip comes to Chicago and a fresh shot clock, and Kenyon Smith with his 2nd turnover today. Boy, he's got butterfingers for some strange reason. Man. Watch the ball into your hands. Isn't that the first rule of catching? Watch the ball into your hands. Speaking of ball into his hands, here comes Devion Jenkins, will go coast to coast.
Nice job by Devion Jenkins in traffic, going up strong.
That's 11-8 in favor of the Windy City Groove under Coach Andy Johnson. Gaines on the drive will get it right over Levante Douglas, 11-10. Smith gets it to Douglas, backs in Fisher. Up underneath, crazy one, gains the rebound.
And again, you wonder how good Gateway would be with some size. You wonder how good they would have been had Tarvin Gaines been on the roster since the beginning of the season.
Bucket's good there for McGill, 12-11. The last 4 scored. Jenkins not there. Rebound immediately to McGill. He starts his drive. Goes inside for the big fella Gaines. Get that out of here, says Andre Johnson. Jenkins will pick up the board. Fuqua drives, scores. 13-12 for the former Bloomington Flex star. Boy, we're going back and forth already, man.
Yeah, we saw a defensive struggle in that first game between the Flex and the Force. Now we're already almost at the score of the first quarter.
Another block for Johnson.
Of that first game with 8 minutes to play.
Here's Jenkins stopped at the baseline, thinking better of it, and gives it back to Smith. He'll split it. Fuqua left wing, long range, count it!
Bang! Nate Fuqua, he's got that range all day long.
Tell you, when you have that championship experience like Nate Fuqua has had the last couple of years, you know what to do with it. That one, it will stay with the Steam. We'll see Sam Morgan come in for Levante Douglas for the Groove. Also for the Steam, Will Kirksey out of McKendree. Raymond Jarrett also returns to the fray for the Steam. Anderson to inbound. Talk a little March Madness on the college side as we roll on here. Some tickets being punched. Flip underneath. Fisher, hot potato. Who's got it? It's Fuqua.
Yeah, Fisher had it ripped out of his hands on his way to the bucket.
Fuqua almost travels there and gives it to Smith. Jenkins on the drive. Will draw a non-shooting foul on Anderson. Second on the team here. 7:09 to go for the quarter. Groove by 4. Fuqua gets it to Smith. Smith driving, and a three-point play coming up. Wow. Probably one of the craziest shots you will see yet.
Yeah, that was remarkable that found its way into the cylinder.
Two quick ones on Fisher. We'll see Chris Babbitt, who's been an X factor up and down the season for the Steam. He'll step in. Kenyon Smith out of Southern Indiana, D2 school. A pretty good D2 school at that. Free pass on the way. Groove by 7 with 7:04. 19-12 is the ledger. And a near steal there. Here comes Babbitt. Wrong man, kid. Johnson with a steal. Smith on the push. Jenkins long range. No.
Oh, that looked like it was in.
Gaines will pick up the ball. Babbitt nearly ripped away. Oh, there's the rip. That's Fuqua. Got tipped. Anderson gets it back. Ooh, almost a three there. Kirksey goes in. Got blocked.
Kirksey, I think, has to go up a little bit stronger than that.
Here's Jenkins. Almost a three-point play with 6:24. This foul is on Jarrett. So already the Steam at their limit. Devion Jenkins, 6'5" out of Jarvis Christian. First up, first down, 20-12 in favor of the Groove. Much better start for the Groove in this game than the Force in the last game. But the problem has been maintaining those leads for both Chicago teams.
Yeah, they've proven that they can play very well in stretches. It's just maybe a team that, they need to get used to the 48-minute game, the NBA rules, the pro officiating.
Jenkins with a steal. Fuqua from the elbow. Yeah. Nice and smooth. Timeout in favor of the Steam. Terrell Robinson not pleased at all. 20-second timeout. This portion of MPBA Sunday brought to you by No More Weak. How will you use your voice to help end domestic and partner violence? Go online at www.nomore.org. The MPBA and its member teams are proud to join the Corporate Alliance to End Partner Violence for No More Week, March 8th through March 14th. Boy, what a great initiative Commissioner Ed Schumer has this entire league under, and it's absolutely needed. It's especially since what's been going on in some of the major leagues over the last few months.
Well, what's nice is in Bloomington we have a relationship with the executive director of the Corporate Alliance to End Partner Violence, Kim Wells, and when all of this stuff was going on with some of the higher leagues, the NFL out there, and I reached out to Kim and I said, Kim, we've got this new league that we're doing here, and we want to incorporate this into our mission statement. We want to develop players not only on the court but off the court as well.
Offensive foul on Devion Jenkins, and that'll take us to the break. We'll talk a little bit more about that when we come back. Boy, great first quarter for the Windy City Groove. They're up 23-12 on the Gateway Steam. MPBA Sunday in Chicago.
Starts with a taste. Coca-Cola Zero. Make it possible.
Back here in Chicago. 5:54 for the quarter. Groove by 11, 23-12. Staying with what we were talking about before the break in regards to No More Week, you know, relationships like what you were talking about, Craig, with the director of the CAEPV. It's very key to have alliances like that in this particular day and age. And it's something to really educate these young professionals in regards to how their stature in the community is.
Yeah, and not only in their development as young men and young professionals, you get kids, you know, they see the No More ads on television and some of the outreach efforts by some of the bigger leagues out there. But those guys, you know, they don't have day-to-day contact with the youth in their community. But if the youth in the community sees guys like Nate Fuqua on a locally produced poster advocating no more assault and domestic violence, and then they see him at the gym, they interact with him, they, you know, that registers that message a little bit better.
23-14, Darren Johnson will go up for a pair. That foul was charged to Kirksey. Earlier in the sequence, Jake Anderson had a nice little reverse layup to our left. Darren Johnson, who in his first appearance against the Swarm had 36 points. First of two is good to make it a 24-15 advantage. Johnson on the year, 13.6 points a game, a 77% free throw shooter, 38% from beyond the three-point arc. He came out flaming against the Swarm. Back in is good. 25-14 in favor of the Windy City Groove. 4:45 to play for the quarter. Chris Dillard has now joined the fray for the Groove in the white.
And if you're looking for more information about No More and the Corporate Alliance to End Partner Violence, you can go to nomore.org or caepv.org. If you know somebody who is in need of immediate assistance, you can go to one of those websites and they will have all sorts of resources available there, emergency contact information, shelters, all other kinds of outreach and resources if there's somebody that is in immediate danger in a domestic violence or sexual assault situation.
Hot potato, Kirksey gets in the foul.
That's how strong Will Kirksey needs to go up and put that ball up off the glass.
The foul here is on Levante Douglas. Just the first today on the Groove. And Kirksey.
And they sound the horn just as Kirksey was about to hit the...
Wow, great feed, and Dillard can't convert.
Kirksey looks over at the scorer's table and says, "What up, fellas?"
Well, we got offensive foul.
Yep, that's a good call. As Levante Douglas was planted outside that defensive restricted area.
The foul is on Jared. That's his second. So let's look at that Groove lineup real quick, brought to you by nomore.org. It is Jordan Johnson, Darren Johnson in the back with Chris Dillard. Here's Johnson, not there for three. Here is Sam Morgan on the way up. He'll draw the foul.
Morgan tumbles to the floor hard.
Third foul already on Raymond Jarrett. All right, let's check that again. It's Darren and Jordan Johnson with Levante Douglas. Sam Morgan out of Columbus State at the line. Chris Dillard rounds out their five. Once the substitution comes in, we'll check the Gateway Steam lineup as the first of two is good for Sam Morgan, who is a, strangely enough, 43% foul shooter. Yikes. All right, we have Terrell Williams back in. Terrell Williams, Chris Babbitt, Will Kirksey, Jake Anderson, and Christopher Williams in the mix. It is Babbitt slicing through the defense. Jake Anderson for three. That's not there. Rebound Williams. He'll go up for two. Levante Douglas will pick up his second foul. Just the team's second.
Christopher Williams shoots two.
And where is Christopher Williams going? Christopher Williams, where are you? Okay, nope, I take that back. It was a...
So it was not a foul on Levante Douglas.
Okay,
or was it? Well,
I guess it wasn't a
Sam
foul.
Morgan's going to the free throw line, so that was not a foul.
Man, that fooled us.
So the foul.
The foul is on the
I believe it was on Will Kirksey.
Okay.
He held up the 5 and the 4. That's where.
Switch.
Yeah,
switch the 5 and the
they said 54 white instead of 54 red. That got things all.
Back end's good for Morgan, by the way. 27-18 now the score. Terrell Williams down to Babbitt. Boy, this is a very aggressive defensive push by the Groove here.
And that's the fingerprints of new coach Handy Johnson.
Kirksey tries.
Oh, that's a strong move by Will Kirksey.
Wow. That's a DeAndre Jordan type move there. Darren Johnson gives it to Diller with a 27-20 Groove matchup. Here's Douglas. Ooh, a little hard. Rebound is to Diller. Johnson backs up. Can't make the three. Kirksey hands off. Anderson slicing. Whoops. If not for Darren Johnson stepping on the line to touch the ball.
Well, that went off of the chest of Sam Morgan before it careened out of bounds, but
20-second timeout call by the Groove. We'll keep it here for just a little bit. This portion brought to you by Coach's Aid, who remind you the inaugural MPBA season is now available for purchase. If you would like to relive any of the games up to this point, including the big game between the Force and the Flicks this afternoon, you can visit coachesaid.com, search for Midwest Professional Basketball Association, or look for the story at thempba.com for direct links.
got some big games coming up this week, too. We've got the Swarm and the Flex in Bloomington on Thursday. And then the same two teams, the Flex and the Swarm, in Champaign on Saturday the 14th.
The River Sharks will take on both Chicago teams Friday and Saturday. They've got the Groove Friday. They've got the Force Saturday. Good floater by Kirksey, not able to bring it in. Douglas all the way down to Darren Johnson. Almost lost that one. He's got Jordan Johnson inside the arc, and he'll knock it down from 20. 29-20 in favor of the Windy City Groove.
And I would not be surprised if the River Sharks in those back-to-back games here in Chicago split. Because when you play both Chicago teams back-to-back, you are going to be tired.
Jake Anderson will go up for two.
You are going to have to work to get 2 wins here in Chicago on back-to-back nights.
We've got time on the floor. 29-20 your score. Windy City by 9. MPBA Sunday back in Chicago on MPBA Sunday. The Groove up 9, 29-20 on the Steam. Jake Anderson out of Iowa State, first of 2 is good. Anderson standing all of 6'2". Backhand's good. That makes it a 7-point advantage. Jordan Johnson with the basketball, the coach's son. Deep bounce pass to Levante Douglas.
Yeah, he wanted to shoot, but he was in no position to do it.
Bounce pass to Babbitt. Get that out of here, says Darren Johnson. Great transition defense by the former Southern Arkansas Mule Rider.
Yeah, and that was an incredible defensive play. You almost would have thought that if that weren't clean, that could have been a flagrant foul, but that was all ball. You can't fault a guy for that.
I mean, love the play. Here's Kirksey. He'll drive. No.
Athletic move by Kirksey. Just got it to roll off the back of the rim, unfortunately.
Morgan. Okay, who was that's one of those Twilight Zone type passes. Oh, man. Let's try the narrative again with 2:08 to play for the quarter. 29 for the Groove, 22 for the Steam. The Steam are in the red, by the way. Only 2 fouls so far this quarter on the Groove. Great defense, a drive, and a near 3-point play. The foul here will be charged to Levante Douglas. So that'll be 2 on him, 3 on the team.
Well, they just announced it as his third.
That should be.
That's
should
what
be
I
just
thought.
his
Yeah, because they
second.
changed the other foul from Douglas to Kirksey.
And now Ron Elysiak Sr. just making sure that, all right.
So that is 2 on Douglas and not 3.
Correct. Christopher Williams out of Chowan University steps up. Williams on the year, 4.6 points a game. He's a 50% free throw shooter, but only 10 attempts. His 11th is good. Andre Johnson comes back in. He'll sit down Levante Douglas. Nate Fuqua also checks back in for Chris Dillard. 1:57 to play for the quarter. Windy City by 6. They've had the lead since breaking a 4-4 stalemate with a triple by Devion Jenkins. Back in is up, and that's not there. The rebound immediately to Sam Morgan. Darren Johnson will guide the offense. Johnson will split the defense, can't put it in. Rebound Sam Morgan, back to Johnson. Looked like there was a foul there. That's a foul on Jordan Johnson, and that should put Windy City over the limit. And that indeed does put them over the limit. This is the second in the final 2 minutes, even though it is just the 4th foul on the team. Chris Babbitt out of Quincy, Division II program that has been on the come up as of late. First of 2 here will make it a 29-24 advantage. The first appearance of Demetrius Haywood out of ACT Charter School for the Groove. He'll sit down Darren Johnson. I actually saw his alma mater play in the high school state regionals, and they had a pretty solid squad. Unfortunately, they lost to a pretty stout Englewood club in that Bowen regional, not too far from the house. Fuqua on the rebound of the back end miss, 29-24. He's got Babbitt in front of him. 10 to shoot. Jordan Johnson fakes the 3, he travels. That will prompt the return of Kenyon Smith. 1:24 to play, and Steam chipping away at the lead again.
We saw both teams do that in the first game of our doubleheader.
(29-24) your score. Floater by Williams is not there. Fuqua the rebound. Fuqua got numbers. Fuqua gives it up for Dillard. Smith had it. Has it now. It's Fuqua with a minute to play. 14 to shoot. Baseline J up. Baseline J no good. Rebound to Kirksey. The Steam can chop it to 3 or 2 with a bomb. It's Williams stripped away. Keeps it in play. Almost stripped away by Morgan with 44.6. Williams on the inbound. It's got Chris Williams. He's fouled. 3-point play is good. This one will be on Haywood.
First on Haywood, Christopher Williams to the free throw line, a 50% free throw shooter on the season.
So Williams looking to make this a 2-point game.
Got the Miami Dolphin colored shoes with the light blue with the
I noticed
orange laces.
It's a 2-point game. It was as big as 11 at one time. Fuqua with 38 to play, 18 on the shot clock. He'll take the for 3. No. Trey Johnson will pick it back up. 7-second differential this time. Oh, great pass to Haywood. Look what I found, Grandma.
Yeah, they just completely lost Demetrius Haywood.
31-27.
I think he was shocked himself to find himself that wide open under the bucket.
You can never be too wide open sometimes, although that has happened. 10 seconds to play. Terrell Williams looking for one last play here. Around a screen. Terrell Williams will put it up. Can't knock it down. Ball tipped away, and that'll be the quarter. Good first quarter for the Windy City Groove as they take the first 12 minutes with a 4-point advantage, 31-27. Back for more after this. MPBA Sunday on the MPBA Broadcast Network. Back in Chicago on MPBA Sunday as the Groove have the basketball up 31-27. Nate Fuqua with the basketball gets it to Dre Johnson, who will turn around, can't knock it down. Terrell Williams with the rebound for the Gateways team in the red. Trying to go behind the screen of Will Kirksey. Now Jake Anderson will call the play. Anderson sees the hole, can't put it in. Rebound to Devion Jenkins. Jenkins starts his drive, puts it up, good. A slight Euro step in there.
You should describe what the Euro step is for the casual fan.
It's sort of almost a lazy travel-like move, but it's like a three-step approach as Fuqua knocks one up from the baseline. But it is allowed at the professional level. Now at the amateur level, you are definitely not going to get away with it. They will call that in a hurry.
Tarvin Gaines, the leading scorer for Gateway in the first quarter with 8. Williams, Kirksey, McGill, and Anderson each with 4. For the host Windy City Groove, Kenyon Smith, Devion Jenkins, Nate Fuqua each with 7.
Fuqua looking to add here. He'll get it with 9. The former Proviso East Pirate putting in work. Almost a steal. It is a steal by Jenkins. Great balance. He'll give it to Sam Morgan. He traveled. Ooh, man, I thought he was going to get that one. For those of you just joining us, we are here live at the Kroc Center in Chicago, Alvin, Washington, with Craig Fada. Having a great time calling some great Chicagoland basketball. And I tell you, the folks have gotten their money's worth when they've come to this facility. There's Tarvin Gaines. Makes it 37-29, and immediately Levante Douglas will come in for just a hot sec. Douglas trying to find somebody on the low block.
Fuqua had the spin, but he looked away.
Douglas couldn't get it. Morgan can't get the rebound. This comes to Gaines. McGill stops in his tracks. Gaines for 3. Good. Wow. Not bad for 6'7". Quick 5-point swing around, 37-32. Smith glides this way. That was ugly. McGill, get that out of here, says Nathan Fuqua.
Oh, dear. And then McGill goes down hard.
And that was a clean block.
It was.
Sometimes in that situation, you might not want to hang on to the ball. I'm just saying. Chris Williams on the inbound. Can't get the 20-footer to fall. Another board for Andre Johnson, who's got a couple of blocks today. Oh, great pass to Nate Fuqua. Douglas got fouled on the way up. That'll be on Kirksey, I believe. Nope, they'll call it on Chris Williams. So Levante Douglas back to the line for 2 more. First of 2 is good, 38-32. Douglas out of Missouri Western in the MIAA. Back in a fall. 39-32, back to a 7-point groove advantage. McGill to Chris Williams. We'll go inside for Kirksey off the elbow. That's not there. Douglas the rebound.
It was actually B.J. Benning on that jump shot.
Oh, 51's out there now.
Haven't seen a lot of him for the Steam since the arrival of Tarvin Gaines and Raymond Jarrett and Lee Fisher.
Devion Jenkins keeps control with 8 to shoot. Oh, great pass!
Oh!
And Levante Douglas pads his own stats. They missed the opportunity to give Sam Douglas or should I say Devion Jenkins the assist, and then padded his own stat with an offensive rebound. Here's Gaines. Oh, my goodness. Here's a kid. Somebody might pick him up to go back overseas the way that is. 41-34. Good pass again to Levante Douglas from Nathan Fuqua. Now, that might be a connection that they'll work a little bit on the left baseline. McGill gets blocked. Benning cleans it up. Going back and forth again. 8 minutes to play here for the quarter. 43-36. Nathan Fuqua, left hand not there. Douglas lucky to have the ball still in Chicago's favor. Handy Johnson, the recently minted head coach of Windy City, has to be at least pleased with this particular sequence so far in this contest.
Yeah, and he's got to really be encouraged since he took over. I mean, the team's played hard. They haven't won, but they've looked very good. I mean, they had the ridiculous near comeback against the Champaign Swarm. Came back from 31 down to pull to within 6 in the fourth quarter with a minute left and the ball.
Andre Johnson will pick up his first foul. That'll send Tarvin Gaines out of Jacksonville State in the Ohio Valley Conference. Played in Brazil earlier this year before coming back home to the States. First of 2 is good. Chris Babbitt will check back in for Chris Williams. First 2 appearances for Tarvin Gaines, average of 28 points. That's not a bad way to start your MPBA career. Back end just a little off. Dre Johnson not able to handle the rebound. So the Steam will stay with it. Off the inbound, Gaines, yes. 43-39. Groove by 4, 7.5.
Closest they've been in a while.
Fuqua around the screen. Jenkins, 6 to shoot. Douglas on the drive.
Yes! Boy, that was a quick first step after he caught that pass.
45-39. Levante Douglas stepping his game up. McGill trying to fight off a screen. Fades away from 10.
Oh, that was a pretty fadeaway over Nate Fuqua.
That's that McDonald's special. 45-41. 6:45 for the half. Smith trying to guide traffic. Here comes a drive and a score for Jenkins. I'm not sure if the Steam wanted to trade buckets right about now, but Gaines almost threw that one away. McGill on a drive. We'll go back around and reverse it.
Good patience by the Steam here. Still plenty of time.
Here's McGill from the left wing. That's no good. Smith.
Yeah, you could tell when he passed up that first wide open three-pointer, he wasn't comfortable. That time he was forced to take it because the shot clock was down around 7, and you weren't going to get much better of a look than that, so he put it up.
Kenyon Smith looked like he came up a little gimpy there. Here's a turnaround J by Fuqua. Ew. Looked good. Foul on the reach-in by Nate Fuqua to stop that one. That'll take us to the break. And we'll come back in a moment. Groove 47, Steam 41, 5:58 for the first half. MPBA Sunday in Chicago. More week. How will you use your voice to help end domestic and partner violence? Use it. Go online at www.nomore.org. The MPBA and its member teams proud to partner with the Corporate Alliance to End Partner Violence. Alvin Washington, Craig Fada at the Kroc Center in Chicago as the Steam are back in action. Tarvin Gaines will get it to the left wing. Now they'll go in for Big Will Kirksey. We're looking for Gaines. Gaines with a hard
Boy, I don't know
runner.
how Gaines got that up, and then he juggled it in traffic off of the quick pass by Kirksey.
47-43. Chris Dillard now gets it back, and Devion Jenkins will guide the offense. Around the screen goes Jenkins. Get that out of here. The quick feed. This is a drive by Jake Anderson. Yes, and a foul. It's Babbitt.
And
Chris
Dillard was trying to foul him before that. They wouldn't give him the foul. Then they finally gave it to him on the shot. He was trying to prevent the shot.
So Chris Babbitt out of Quincy, 6'4" guard, will look to chop this down to 1.
And Dillard turned around and he was looking at Forrest Elysiak saying, why wasn't I getting the foul as he was running past the free throw line instead of waiting till the shot was up?
That one won't go. Big rebound by Dillard. Grove just trying to maintain here. Jenkins trying to bounce past it. Douglas picks it up. What a two-hand stop! 49-45. Windy City back up by 4. McGill finds Anderson. Anderson up, under, and no. Kirksey can't clean it up. Rebound, Trey Johnson. Dillard on the push.
That was unfortunate for Kirksey. He had good position, put up a good shot.
Jordan Johnson couldn't get that one. Gains the other way, puts it in. Quick transition makes it a 2-point game again. 49-47, and now another steal. This time it's Jake Anderson. Hot potato, and it's off of Babbitt.
And this faster pace benefits the Gateway Steam more than the Windy City Groove. As athletic as the Groove are, I think Gateway, when they have Tarvin Gaines on the floor and Lee Fisher, they are extremely athletic. Not to mention Christopher Williams.
Jordan Johnson with the basketball. Douglas has Gaines all over him. They try to get it to Trey Johnson again, and a foul called at 4:03. I think is it on Douglas again? Nope, Trey Johnson will pick up a second. So McGill is out. We'll see for the first time number 15, Brandon Goss out of King University, 6'2" guard. So Goss comes to the deep wing as they try to exploit the height advantage, and Tarvin Gaines can't get the 3 to go. Anderson will go up for 2 more to try and tie. Another foul on Trey Johnson.
And that was one of the few shots by Tarvin Gaines that when it left his hand, you were pretty certain it was not going to go in. When he releases the ball, you usually expect it to go in.
So that'll see if Sam Moore can get off the pine. First of 2 is good for Jake Anderson, given name Darian.
Did I just hear that correctly? 3rd foul on Andre Johnson?
That is the 3rd foul on Andre Johnson. And he was a defensive stalwart earlier in the contest. Back in, tie game. 49-all. Devion Jenkins, triple teamed, gets it over to Douglas. 10 on the shot clock. Jenkins tries, no problem there. 51-49, 3.5 for the first half. Stats, facts, and figures coming up on the Coach's Aid halftime report. Behind the back is Kirksey, not there.
Boy, a pretty behind-the-back pass, and Kirksey couldn't finish.
Johnson up for Douglas. No. Douglas put back. No. Douglas, a third time.
Here's
no.
Douglas padding his stats again with the offensive rebounding numbers.
Yeah, but the important number, which is the score, didn't come down, and now a push up to Kirksey. Kirksey up underneath, yes, and a foul and a tie game. And a chance for the Steam to take the lead.
Yeah, fouls on Devion Jenkins, his second.
And we've got time with 2:51. Will Kirksey for the opportunity to give the Gateway Steam the lead. In just a moment, the MPBA Sunday in Chicago.
Every day at Subway, we prepare for something big. That's why we can get 3 serves of crisp veggies into each sub within our range of delicious chicken Subway footlong favourites. For under $10, you can choose from chicken teriyaki, chicken and bacon ranch melt, chicken schnitzel, or the ever-popular chicken classic. Chicken Subway footlong favourites. A whole lot of lunch, each for under $10.
Are you happy with that?
Yeah, thanks.
For a limited time only at Subway.
Back in Chicago, 2:51 for the first half. 51 all as Will Kirksey made the bucket off the foul by Devion Jenkins. And now the man from McKendree, 6'8", 260 pounds, will look to give the Gateway Steam their first lead since the start of the game.
I'm trying to remember what the mascot is for McKendree. Good friend of mine, done their sports for a number of years down there.
Kirksey's free throw makes it 52-51 Steam. 2:47 to play for the quarter. Darren Johnson gets it to Jordan Johnson. Looked at a three and won't take it. Devion Jenkins backs up. 9 of shoot. Goes up underneath for Levante Douglas, and it's tapped out. 5 on the shot clock. 2.5 for the second quarter. Jenkins looking to inbound. We're through a couple of screens. 4, 3. Hot potato, and that's a 24-second violation.
Well, if they hadn't thrown it out of bounds, the shot clock was indeed expiring. They were going to turn it over one way or another.
So a break for the Steam as they look to advance this lead. Goss goes baseline. Gaines for 3. Count it.
That's one of those silky smooth releases from Tarvin Gaines.
55-51 Gateway. Jordan Johnson gets it to Morgan. Jenkins, almost. Third foul now on Will Kirksey.
So Kirksey with 3, Jarrett with 3 for Gateway. Andre Johnson has 3 for Windy City.
Devion Jenkins will hit the first of 2. Chop the lead down to 3. Now some substitution confusion. B.J. Benning will come back in. Will Kirksey comes out. Everybody will be over the limit at this point. Back in for Jenkins. It's a 2-point game. 55-53. 1 minute, 52 seconds for the first half. Coach's 8 halftime report on the way. Benning inside to Gaines. No problem there. mean, not a single white shirt in front of anybody. Gateway by 4 again, 57-53. Levante Douglas trying to look down low. Starts his push. He goes up into paint, almost draws a three-point play. Tarvin Gaines is charged with that foul. Levante Douglas up for 2. Chris Dillard set the check back in a moment. First of 2. Ugh. So it looks like Dillard will be waiting a little bit. He's going to get Douglas at the next opportunity.
Alvin, following that first game, Anthony Slack took over the rebounding lead in the MPBA at 11.4 per game, with Derek McDonald dropping to 10.4. Matt Sally, in fact, now second.
Balls here, there, everywhere. Hot potato and back to the Windy City Groove. And we'll now see Chris Dillard sit down Levante Douglas. So let's check that Groove lineup real quick. Darren Johnson, Jordan Johnson, Jenkins, Morgan, and Dillard. On the reverse for the Steam, it's Goss, Gaines, Benning, as Johnson goes 3 the hard way.
Boy, Handy Johnson, or rather Jordan Johnson, Handy's son, he's got such a pretty release.
He's got some hops, too.
Yeah, he does.
57 all, final minute of the quarter. The no more weak final minutes. Here's Terrell on the baseline. That's not there. Gaines will tip it back in once, twice. No such luck. Dillard the rebound. Quick feed to Jenkins. Jenkins drives, gets around the defense. No. Almost a three-point play. The foul will be on Goss. And now Devion Jenkins a chance to give the Groove back the lead with a 57 all stalemate. You know, sometimes these players feel like, what do I have to do to get a bucket around here? First of 2 is good for Jenkins. Again, everybody over the limit. 36.8 left. A full shot clock and a half to go in this one. Jenkins cannot convert the back end. Groove by 1. Here's Anderson, splitting D. Foul called on Dillard. His first. Excuse me.
Boy, for a second I thought they were going to call that a tie-up. A little too much body underneath. It looked like it was all clean ball up top.
30.9 remains as Jake Anderson goes back to the line for 2. First of 2 is good. That'll tie it back up. Back end's good, 59-58. Darren Johnson. Jordan Johnson from Jenkins. Around a couple of good high post screens. Sam Morgan with 8 to shoot. Morgan, what in the heck was that? That'll give the ball to the Steam with 10.5 to play for the quarter. I'm still trying to figure out what in the world that was. That looked like the Grateful Dead trying to scoop up dirt at Soldier Field. Jake Anderson trying to drive, goes into traffic. Baseline, Jake Goss is not there. 2-1, hot potato, no shot. Steam take a 1-point lead into the break. 59-58 over the Groove. Coach's 8 halftime report coming up in a few minutes. Don't move a muscle. More great MPBA Sunday action in a little bit on the MPBA Broadcast Network. Archives from the inaugural season of the Midwest Professional Basketball Association. For more, visit coachesaid.com. Alvin Washington alongside Craig Fada. This is the Coach's Aid halftime report. And again, another entertaining back-and-forth matchup between teams from Central Illinois and here in Chicago.
Yeah, the Gateway Steam, they found themselves down 11 in that first quarter. But again, like we saw in the first game, they clawed back just the same way the Bloomington Flex did, the same way the Chicago Force did after the Flex opened up a big first quarter lead. And I tell you what, buddy, as this season has progressed, you look at the records of the teams and you think, boy, you know, there's a real big disparity between an 11-2, 10-2, 11-3 team and the teams that are 3-11. There's not that much difference. It's one or two guys here and there. It's one or two guys getting hot. It's, you know, teams are within 3 to 5 points of each other more often than not in the fourth quarter. You rarely see big blowouts at this stage of the season. It's really been impressive to watch how these teams and these players have developed. You knew that Bloomington was going to be strong based on their past history, but with 5 brand new teams, you had to wonder how they were going to be able to compete. But the St. Louis River Sharks out of the gate beat the Bloomington Flex. They stumbled a couple times, but they look really, really tough now. But then they dropped a game last night to Champaign. Champaign, they've had to deal with some roster issues. They've lost a couple of guys overseas. And now they seem like they've regrouped a little bit. They've signed Avery Smith, Liven Pyfram, and they've had a couple other additions. Malcolm Griffin looked pretty good last night. Bloomington's made a couple of roster moves. Windy City made a coaching move, and they're playing much better. The Chicago Force, you know, they're right there. You know, they hung with the Flex for 4 quarters. You look at the Gateway Steam, they've won 3 in a row now. And you have to wonder how good they would have been all season long had they had Tarvin Gaines, you know, had they had Will Kirksey, had they had Lee Fisher and Raymond Jarrett all season long. You know, this is really going to be an entertaining final 3 weeks of the regular season. Nobody is out of the playoff picture yet. Certainly you've got the top 3 in Bloomington, Champaign, and St. Louis. Any one of those 3 could take away the top seed. Any one of those could end up at number 3 and be playing on the road in the first game of the playoff series. And then you've got all 3 of the bottom teams. All 3 of them are within a game and a half of each other for the 4th playoff spot. So this is really going to shape up to be an entertaining final 3 weeks of the season.
But you notice the demarcation line between the top 3 and the bottom 3. It is very, very evident. This same Steam team was mired in a 9-game losing streak. They were dead last. They pick up Tarvin Gaines. It's a totally different ball game for number 4. Now the question is, will the Windy City Groove or even the Chicago Force make a strong enough challenge at the end? That remains to be seen.
Yeah, you know, it's the only problem that you see down the stretch is that both the Windy City Groove and the Gateway Steam are out of roster moves. That's going to be a problem for them. You know, they had to make some adjustments to try to right their respective ships. They seem to have done that, but now with 3 weeks left in the regular season, they're kind of hamstrung by the roster restrictions. So you have to hope that they don't get an injury.
Looking at first half stats, hopefully I'm looking at this right. They've got Tarvin Gaines for 27. That might be way off, but that's what they have him for unofficially. 8 for Jake Anderson, 7 for Will Kirksey. Brandon McGill sits on 6. Christopher Williams 4, 3 Chris Babbitt, 2 each. B.J. Banning and Ray Jarrett.
I wouldn't be surprised in the least if Tarvin Gaines has 27.
Devion Jenkins leading the Groove with 16. 13 from Levante Douglas. Nate Fuqua with 11. 7 for Kenyon Smith. 5 for Jordan Johnson. Sam Morgan, Demetrius Haywood, Darren Johnson, each with 2. Rebound-wise, Leading rebounder for the Steam, B.J. Benning and Tarvin Gage each have 4. Assist-wise, 2 assists for Kenyon Smith for the Groove, 3 steals for Devion Jenkins, a block each for Nate Fuqua, Darren Johnson, and Sam Morgan. Andre Johnson has 3 blocks. All right, let's break out the Coach's Aid Coach's clipboard. You are Handy Johnson of the Windy City Groove. Been a back and forth battle. What are you setting up an adjustment-wise to get the lead back in your favor and the big lead like you had earlier?
Well, you don't really have to make any huge adjustments. You only find yourself down by 1 point. I think if you keep doing what you've been doing, maybe tighten up on Tarvin Gaines a little bit, you can have some success in the second half. I think it's going to be a tight game regardless of what he decides to do, just as long as Tarvin Gaines doesn't go crazy.
And that's been the one deciding factor so far, is no matter where Tarvin Gaines is on the floor, if he puts it up, expect it to go down. We'll take a break and come back for more action. The Gateway Steam 59, the Windy City Groove 58. MPBA Sunday continues after this on the MPBA Broadcast Network. Executive producer Dean O'Neill, coordinating producer Chris Phillips, and our crew here in Chicago, Alvin Washington, Craig Fada in the building. Rocking it here at the Kroc Center. 59 for the Gateway Steam, 58 for the Windy City Groove as we start the second half of play. This portion of MPBA Sunday brought to you by No More Week. How will you use your voice to end domestic and partner violence? Go online at www.nomore.org during this week, March 8th through 14th. It will be Groove Ball to start the second half, and we're missing our timekeeper and folks. I think we're just about set to go. So far, both of these games, this one and the Force Flex game, have been very competitive.
Well, as we talked about in that halftime segment, there's not much separation between these teams. You might get one team gets real hot one night on their home court, might run away with something, but really the balance of the competition, I think, is really pretty tight.
All right, we're trying to get ourselves set, and we are set to go. It is the Groove in white. Devion Jenkins around the screen. Levante Douglas, the baseline 15-footer, is no good. Ball stays with Windy City off the tap out. Early going here in the third quarter. Fuqua looking to inbound off a couple of screens. He'll get it to Kenyon Smith. It is Douglas underneath. No. Tip in good for Dre Johnson, who will give the Groove the lead back at 60-59. How will the Steam respond? Lee Fisher back on the floor. Haven't seen him in a while.
Yeah, you have to wonder if, he had an injury or something, because it's not like he was in foul trouble. Only had one.
Tarvin Gaines couldn't get that one. Here comes Jenkins again. Jenkins off glass and good. Quick 4 out the gate for the Groove. They're up 62-59. Floater off the fake, not there for Jarrett.
Amazing job by Devion Jenkins to not draw a foul. He got faked out, still held his defensive position.
Kenyon Smith with a strong drive on the right baseline. That's a quick 6 out the gate for the Groove. 10:45 to play for the quarter. Fisher goes deep inside, tapped away by Johnson. I'll get it back. Here's McGill, long range, rimmed out. Smith almost fouled by Gaines. Fuqua guiding traffic. Gets a screen, goes in the arc. Can't knock down the 18-footer. Johnson almost had the rebound. Here's Devion Jenkins. Trey Johnson with the fake and the score. Wow, that's a great sequence.
Yeah, Darrell Robinson. I was just about to say Darrell's probably going to take time out here, and before I could get the sentence out, Robinson said, "No, that's not how we wanted to start the second half." It takes T.
That is a quick 8-0 run, 22nd timeout by the Gateway Steam. And as we got a moment here, Craig, you see how they're starting to work their inside game again as opposed to being able to knock it down from outside to give them a little distance earlier.
Well, and Chicago, they really have the capability of doing that. They've got the inside stuff. They've got the outside stuff. Levante Douglas, Andre Johnson stepping up a little bit now. But Levante Douglas, I think he's really an underutilized resource. He's averaging about 10 points a game, but I think he's really capable of even more than that by half. He might be a 15 to 18 point guy. Devion Jenkins at 13 points a game, he can do damage. Sam Morgan at 6'7", he's only at 6.4 points a game, but he can be in that 12 to 14 point range as well.
Back to
we
action.
talked about that a little bit last night, or rather, last night in Champaign. Beg your pardon. This is my fourth game in 3 days, but between Terry Evans and Terry Leak. Terry Leak's a guy who's averaging in the high teens, but Terry Evans is a guy who's only in single digits. It could very easily go the other way.
That bucket by Kirksey stops the short run. Fuqua the other way. 3-ball rims out. Back to Kenyon Smith. Tapped inside, taken away. Kirksey coming, bringing down. Kirksey, yep. Quick forward back the other way by the Steam.
And Jake Anderson's effort on the defensive end was rewarded. He saved it in bounds. He saved it to the groove, but his teammates got it back for him, and they got a bucket at the other end for the effort.
Fuqua now has Trey Johnson. Starts his push. No foul called. Hot potato, another steal. This time it's Tarvin Gaines. And now here comes Kirksey, stripped away. Out of bounds to Windy City.
Impressive by Kenyon Smith. Kirksey was going up to the rack on that. He had all kinds of height advantage over Kenyon Smith. And Kenyon says, well, I'll just take it away from you on the way up.
3-point lead for Windy City. From the elbow, Smith can't put it in. Douglas, yes. They are working the offensive glass to perfection now. 68-63 Windy City. Terrell Williams stops his dribble. Terrell and Chris Williams. Darn, they look like they could be brothers. Here's Terrell Williams, the long J is good. 68-65 off the 20-footer.
For my money, Levante Douglas is a guy who could maybe be second team all MPBA.
He's getting close to it.
Yeah, he sure is. I mean, he's really started to come on in the past 2-3 weeks.
Devion Jenkins, he could get there too. Good one off glass, 70-65. Back to a 5-point advantage. Just 4 minutes going by. Here's a steal by Kenyon Smith. Smith to the races. Fouled on the way up by Jake Anderson. Tell you, there's not enough that is said about this young man's defense. Because he can get on a hot streak of a few steals here and there. Kenyon Smith out of Southern Indiana. On the season, averaging 8.2 points a game. He's a 79% foul shooter. .802 to play here for the quarter. First of two. Chris Babbitt set to check in. He will replace Chris Williams.
Yes, indeed.
Yep. One coming up for Kenyon Smith.
I've been kind of carping about the free throw shooting all season long by not only the Bloomington team, but across the league in general. And, a guy who's a 10-point-a-game guy, if he hits more of his free throws, he might be a guy who's a 14 to 16-point guy. That's the difference between playing in the MPBA and maybe playing in the D-League or playing overseas in Europe or South America or China. you hit those free throws, those free points that you get to the tune of, another half dozen a game.
And it makes a difference.
And that's the difference in advancing your career or getting noticed by a scout somewhere.
Feed inside, Tarvin Gaines. Man, this kid's defense is nice too. I believe Gaines got the last bucket down to our right for a 71-67 Groove advantage of 4, 7:56 for the quarter. Off of a bunch of screens, Chris Dillard picks it up at the half-court line. Dillard almost loses it to Gaines. Jenkins calls off the Dogs. He starts his drive. Whoops. Quit trying to shake and bake. You got 4 other team members out there. See, that's where you start watching NBA too much. You start seeing the one-on-one instead of working the ball around like what San Antonio and Atlanta have done. And it shows in the record. Gaines, yes.
Oh, how did he do that? You don't teach that, Alvin. You just don't teach that.
That's Tim Duncan-like. Speaking of which, do you believe, even with the Spurs winning over the Bulls today, Tim Duncan did not get a field goal? Not one.
Really?
First game in 1,311 appearances, career, that he did not score a field goal. That is an NBA record. Surpassing both Michael Jordan and Hakeem Olajuwon. Here comes a long juice from Chris Dillard. It's good! 1,300 games scoring at least a field goal. That is a heck of an accomplishment in itself. 73-69 to score. Here's Gaines from the top of the free throw circle.
And I bet you that Tim Duncan, A, didn't even notice, and B, didn't even care.
Because Kawhi Leonard and David Green were doing their thing, and Tony Parker. Parker wound up with 32, 22 in the second half of that game. 11 to shoot. Kenyon Smith starts his drive. Reverse is good.
That was gorgeous by Kenyon Smith.
And delay of game on the Windy City Groove. And see, leave that ball alone. The next time that happens, that's a free point. Babbitt almost loses it. Hot potato, foul on Jenkins. Oh, man. He wanted that bad.
He got called for the foul, Devion Jenkins, but his teammates applauded the effort.
That's 3 on him. 75-71 the score. 6.5 for the third. And again, Windy City maintaining the advantage. Terrell Williams kicks it out, almost a steal. Here's Kirksey, drives, and the foul.
Nate Fuqua saying to Ron Elysiak, I hit the ball, man.
It is Fuqua on the foul. That's his second. And we'll see Lee Fisher come back in. He'll sit down. Tarvin Gaines. Boy, Tarvin Gaines has had a game again. Will Kirksey up for the free pass to try and chop it down to a 1-point lead. Fuqua will pick up the board. We'll see.
And as one of the people who helps out with the league website and the stats and everything, I'm expecting an email saying, hey, how come Tarvin Gaines isn't listed among the league leaders in scoring? Well,
this is just
the MPBA goes by the NBA thresholds, and he has not played in 70% of his team's games.
Nope. There's a steal by Terrell Williams. Quick feed to Fisher. Potato, whoops, foul called. If that's on Dre Johnson, it is. That's his fourth. And now a chance to tie here as Chris Babbitt steps to the line. Babbitt out of Quincy University is a 76% free throw shooter. First of 2 is good. Chopping away at the lead. 75-74, I believe. And why? Okay,
Which NFL team was that, or was it a college team where the coach put a stump in the locker room with an axe to remind them to keep chopping wood, keep chopping away? And one guy had the axe go off the stump and into his shin.
Oh, good gracious. I don't even want to see that one. What we will see is a break. 75 for Windy City, 74 for Gateway, 5:45 in the third in Chicago.
Starts with a taste. Coca-Cola Zero. Make it possible.
Back in Chicago, 75-74. Groove lead the Steam with 5:45 in the third. Chris Babbitt back to the line for one more. Somehow or another they had missed the mandatory before the free throws were being shot. So we'll come back for the back end. Babbitt up for it and good. And we're tied again. 75 all. Diller with Fisher in his face. Smith drives. Here's Fuqua for three. Count it!
Bang! Nate Fuqua. He hit a three in the first half and said he's got that range all day long, and proved it again there.
Bang that one from the Proviso West Sports Arena where the world-famous Christmas tournament is played at. 78-75. Kirksey double-teamed. Can't beat it. Fisher off the backboard. Gets it to Babbitt, and that's good. I tell you, that's one of the reasons why Lee Fisher's been such a great player. Here's almost a one there, and that won't get saved. Well, good hustle that time by Morgan, but Chris Diller came from about 10 foot off the baseline. Was about to come in there Dominique style and just a little off target.
Got to appreciate somebody who can make the Dominique reference.
78-77, under 5 to play for the quarter. Diller all over Babbitt. Terrell Williams will come across the line. Babbitt hounded by Diller. Here's Kirksey again. Drives and gives him the lead back again. Boy, Will Kirksey picking it up here. 79-78. Fuqua gets the screen. Inside the arm. Can't get the 18-footer. Dillard on the put back.
Oh, wow. Dillard soaring in.
Kids got hops, I tell you that much. 80-79, another entertaining game here in the Windy City. Jake Anderson back on the floor. Gives it to Fisher. Double team. Here's Babbitt. Foul on the way up. Levante Douglas will finally pick up his third foul. Chris Babbitt looking to give the Steam the lead once again.
Ryan Snow, the public address announcer, and Joe, the guy running the online stats, came over during the halftime break and said, all right, let's figure out this Levante Douglas and Will Kirksey foul situation. Because you remember we had the situation where they originally called it on Douglas.
And it wound up being on Kirksey.
Yeah, then it was Kirksey. We went from one end to the other, and we were able to keep up with it, and they had to come over and confirm that with how many fouls he had.
This free throw trying to make it a tie. Babbitt up. Yes. Tied at 80. Well, I've lost track of the lead changes. Sam Morgan gets it to Levante Douglas. Loses the basketball. Trying to get pretty with it. Terrell Williams the other way. He's fouled. Kirksey and one. That's what happens when you get pretty with the basketball in the paint.
Yeah, I've got the feeling that we're going to be making notations all over the place with all these lead changes and everything.
Dillard will pick up his third. Douglas out, Jenkins in. Kirksey looking to extend this to a 3-point steam advantage. And doesn't. But he gets it back. A 4-point advantage. And the steam bench up and at him. Jordan Johnson back on the floor with 4 minutes to play. 84-80. Steam leading the Groove, trying to get their 4th straight win. Jordan Johnson loses the basketball.
Yeah, he had it batted from behind by Terrell Williams.
Gets it to Babbitt. Jammed by Lee Fisher. 86-80.
Hammy Johnson wants timeout. What a run by the Gateway Steam.
8 straight. Let's take a break with 3:42. Steam back in command of this one in the third in Chicago. Back in Chicago as the Steam use an 8-0 run to overtake the Groove, 86-80. Alvin Washington alongside the big dog Craig Fada in the building, Kroc Center, Chicago, where we have seen some of the best MPBA pro basketball this season.
Yeah, these 2 games here today have really been good. They've been cleanly played. It hasn't been sloppy. It hasn't been, muddling. It was good defense early on in the first game.
Devion Jenkins almost loses that one. Free Sam Morgan is not there. Tipping all over the top. Who gets it? It will be Chicago. It will be Windy City with a fresh shot clock. 3:25 for the third. The Steam, since being down 59-58 actually they were up 59-58. Whoa, what a big deuce by Jordan Johnson. The Steam were down in the third quarter 75-74. They've outscored so far the Groove in this third period 12-7. They're still in, not quite yet. Kirksey gets it. Wait a minute. Offensive foul!
I think that's going to be on Kirksey after he dished the pass.
Let's see what they do. Get Kirksey on the pass and crash. That's 4. And that's big. Let's see what kind of matchups he got. He's going to go to the big fella Tarvin Gaines. So he'll replace Bulk with speed and finesse. Inbound comes to Jordan Johnson, the diminutive one. 3 minutes to play for the quarter. Steam by 4. Here's Jenkins looking to back in against Babbitt. Now gets it underneath.
Oh, pretty dish underneath, but it's not going to go.
They didn't say he stepped on the line. Good try, though. Now they can send it back to 6. Here comes Williams. Driving against. He gets that one to go. 88-82. Jordan Johnson. Long deuce. Got that one. 88-84. Jake Anderson looking to answer back here.
Wow, what an entertaining game.
Fisher underneath. Hot potato. It's Groove basketball as Gaines got caught up with Morgan.
Gaines couldn't handle the pass from Fisher.
Boy, key possession here for Windy City. Jenkins around a high post screen. Goes to the cup. They can't knock it down. Hot potato, who's got it? It is the Steam. It is Williams. Williams is fouled by.
Is that going to be on Jordan Johnson? Yep, sure is.
Jordan Johnson will pick up his first foul, and that should push. That's a second foul. I believe that should push Windy City over the limit, and it does. Nate Fuqua sending to check back in a moment. It'll be Terrell Williams out of Lincoln University, Missouri, up 4-2. These two free throws looking to give the Steam a 6-point lead with 2:06 here in the third. First one up. Yep. Fuqua comes back in. He's got Morgan to take out. We'll reset those lineups in just a skosh. This one to try and make it a 6-point lead. Yeah. 90-84. For the Groove, you have Darren and Jordan Johnson with Fuqua, Dillard, and Jenkins for the Groove. Here's a long J, not there again for Jordan Johnson. Terrell Williams on the reverse for the Steam with Anderson, Gaines, Fisher, and Babbitt. A minute 45 to play for the quarter. 9 to shoot. Babbitt hounded by Jordan Johnson. Jump ball, good block by Devion Jenkins. So we'll jump it to the circle to our right. Jenkins against Babbitt. If the Steam get it, they've got a 4-second shot. Wait.
They reset it, and now they realize they shouldn't have, so they're counting it down back to 4.
Yeah, it should be a 4-second shot clock. They've got it on 5. Let's see what happens here. The tip will come to Windy City.
Oh, I don't know how
Whoa!
Oh my! I don't know how Jordan Johnson stayed in bounds along that sideline and then threw a beautiful pass.
Baseline J for Babbitt, right back at you. That'll stop that in a hurry.
I can't wait to see this fourth quarter. This can be a promising ending to this one. As promising as a self-help book.
Fuqua straight on 3. That's not even close. Anderson with a minute to play gets it to Gaines. Gets it a foul. Tarvin Gaines has been the X factor in this 3-game win streak for the Steam.
Well, he's not going to be a X factor for much longer. He's going to be a main factor.
Tarvin Gaines out of Jacksonville State has pushed this lead to 8, 94-86. This is a 20-11 run. Since being down 75-74, he'll make the free throw at 95-86. It's a 9-point lead. Darren Johnson back the other way. Now the Groove could get in one more run. Johnson, high, no. Here comes Terrell Williams, speeding through with 42 to play. Fisher, left wing, 3, no. Fuqua the rebound. 8-second differential. Fuqua gets it to Darren Johnson, almost stripped away from him. It goes to Gateway. Wow. Groove just making mistake after mistake after mistake here. Babbitt on the inbound with 24.1, so a full shot clock and a tick.
Yeah, they're not off by much.
Like 1/10 really. Williams with 7 to shoot. Drives. Can't get it. It is Fisher on the putback. 97-86 Steam. 2 seconds. 1. Couldn't get it off in time. And the Steam get the ball to start the fourth quarter. Oh, boy, what a change of events here in the Windy City. Steam 97, Windy City 86. Fourth place on the line in Chicago after this.
Every day at Subway, we prepare for something big. That's why we can get 3 serves of crisp veggies into each sub within our range of delicious chicken Subway footlong favourites. For under $10, you can choose from chicken teriyaki, chicken and bacon ranch melt, chicken schnitzel, or the ever-popular chicken classic. Chicken Subway footlong favourites. A whole lot of lunch, each for under $10.
Are you happy with that?
Yeah, thanks.
For a limited time only at Subway.
This copyrighted broadcast of the Midwest Professional Basketball Association may not be reproduced for any reason without express written consent. He's the big dog, Craig Veda. I'm Alvin Washington. Chris Phillips manning the controls here at our Kroc Center studios. Got a good one coming down to the wire, but it has been a steam roll. 97-86.
They outscored the Windy City Groove 38-28 in that third quarter. Tarvin Gaines now with 36 points heading into the fourth. Will Kirksey with 19, Chris Babbitt 10 to lead the Steam for the Chicago Force. Devion Jenkins has 23 others in double figures.
And he couldn't make the steal count for him. Terrell Williams the other way. Got it.
That was beautiful.
99-86. This is a 25-11 run. Kenyon Smith can't get it the other way. Levante Douglas, no. Rebound, who's got it? It's Fisher.
Oh, and then Terrell Williams loses the handle. Biggest lead of the game for either team now at 13.
Well, the Groove have got to find a way to cut down on the mistakes and chop it to this lead, because if it gets any more out of hand, they are going further back in the standings. As it is, they are a game and a half behind the Steam for fourth place. Jenkins gets it to Douglas. Back to Jenkins. Smith pulls up from 15. Got it.
Boy, both of these teams are just playing so well.
Gaines back the other way for the Steam in the red. He'll go for 3. Nope. Douglas will hand off to Smith. 1 minute gone by. Fuqua looked at a 3 and won't take it. Looking for the screen. Won't get it. Behind the back. He'll step back from 15. Yeah! Lead down to 9. Quick 5. Almost another steal. Foul on Jenkins.
That last move by Nate Fuqua was like AB right button. You know, he behind the back, step back, nothing but net from outside the elbow. I mean, that's something that you you see these guys practicing by themselves in an open gym. That's one of those practice moves that you've done it so many times. You feel so comfortable doing something like that in a game it becomes second nature, and it looks impressive, and it is impressive. But behind the back, step back, knock it down. That's just a function of repetition right there.
Hours of practice. Steph Curry of the Golden State Warriors does it with the best of them. Good feed. Gaines, yep. Taco time. 101-90. Steam. First to 100. Can the Groove answer back? Kenyon Smith kicks it over to Trey Johnson. He'll knock it down from the elbow. They need some stops here. Oh, there's one. Almost. Kenyon Smith just a half step away from getting that one. And here comes a man who's murdered the Windy City Groove all of the third quarter. Will Kirksey will step in. Jake Anderson bringing it down. He's got Terrell Williams. Now, Terrell Williams can push this basketball with pretty much the best of them despite his size.
Kirksey through 3 quarters had 19 points.
Fisher. Here's a floater by Gaines. Yep. 103-92. Groove can ill afford to trade buckets. Here comes three from Devion Jenkins. No. The rebound. Who's got it? It's Terrell Williams, and back come the Steam.
I tell you what, Alan, if Tarvin Gaines keeps up this pace and the Gateway Steam make a run at this thing, qualify for the playoffs, and maybe do some damage, I know he came on midseason, but Tarvin Gaines has to be in the conversation for MVP.
Terrell Williams can't hit the 20-footer.
A little premature for it, though. But his performance certainly would indicate that he's going to have something to say about it before it's all said and done.
103-92. Ball tapped out of bounds by the Steam as Smith went in the trees.
Actually, 105-92 now.
Yeah, it's 105-92. Now here comes B.J. Benning to come back in. He'll sit down Tarvin Gaines. He got a bigger front line. Chris Dillard will counteract. He'll sit down Dre Johnson. So screens all around. Kenyon Smith will get the inbound. Smith gives it to Dillard. Fuqua. Trying to get it inside to Kenyon Smith. Smith gets it to Douglas. Foul and 2. And they call that foul on
B.J. Benning, his first.
So that'll send Levante Douglas of Missouri Western for the Groove to the line to try and chop it to a 13-point lead. 105-92. We have 8:50 to play for the fourth quarter.
Well, we've talked about the MVP race. We've talked about the All-MPBA team. Talked about the All-MPBA defensive team. We've talked about the All-MPBA beard team.
Yeah.
I think we've got to also have the All-MPBA sneakers team.
That is true. And we've seen some crazy sneakers, and here is Dillard gets to the Devion Jenkins.
Oh!
Stuff this, homie! Timeout called by the Steam. 105-96, a quick 4-point run.
Oh, my goodness.
Gee whiz.
Devion Jenkins, the defense was coming over. Devion Jenkins said, I don't care who's coming over. Devion Jenkins just went up with some authority.
Let's take a break here in Chicago. Here in Chicago, 105-96. Gateway Steam leading the Windy City Groove here with 8:38 for regulation. This portion brought to you by No More Week. How will you use your voice to silence domestic violence? Go online at www.nomore.org. No More Week is this week, March 8th to the 14th. Jake Anderson on the drive. Gets it underneath to Kirksey. Yes, sir. Devion Jenkins right back the other way. Bounces it to Kenyon Smith. Dillard, the baseline 18-footer is no good. Williams the rebound.
8:25 to play in this one. I still don't think this one's anywhere close to being decided.
And Will Kirksey was looking for the feed down low, went hop, skip, and a swift off of his hands. Here's Jenkins. Fuqua inside to Douglas. Yes! Fisher to Kirksey. No. Rebound. It is Williams. Travel.
Yes, sir.
This is turning into who wants this more.
Well, I think both teams are showing a very good amount of want to here. I think they're both executing. I mean, it's not like one team is falling away or wilting.
Fuqua gets the curl to Darren Johnson. Looked like he got poked in the eye, and that's why the foul was called.
Yeah, Terrell Williams had the initial block, but I think on the follow-through, got Darren Johnson right in the eye hole.
First of 2 is good for Darren Johnson out of Southern Arkansas. Gaines back, Benning out for the Steam. It's an 8-point lead.
Short rest for Tarvin Gaines. Figure he'll get one more rest.
This is an opportunity to give us some tacos for Windy City. Taco time! 107-100. Now let's play some basketball. Hot potato all the way around. Here is Williams. Yes. 109-100. Smith gets it out. Here comes 3. Darren Johnson. Ooh. Left that well short. Terrell Williams pushing it. High floater, not there off the bank. It is Fuqua to rebound and gets the reach in from Tarvin Gaines.
So on Gaines, that'll be foul number 2.
Third, they say. Huh. 109-100 with 7:15 for the fourth quarter. Here we go. Fuqua gets it to Smith. Smith, a lot of time in the shot clock, gets it to Dillard. Blocked away by Gaines.
What a game Tarvin Gaines is having.
Dillard would have been well served with an up fake on that play. 10 to shoot for the Steam. Anderson has it, almost slips, stays with it, blocked away by Fuqua, jump ball. If the Steam get it back, they're working with a 2-second shot clock.
Well, you can run a little something here, but not terribly much.
So Fuqua and Anderson to our right. Here it goes. And what's up?
Senior had the whistle there.
I think he's talking to Darrell Robinson to make sure. Oh, it's a violation on the Steam. So Groove basketball with a fresh shot clock. They got to score here, and they got to stop the other way. The next 4 times down. Smith starting his push, goes inside for Dillard. Almost a 3-point play.
Boy, you almost want this game to go to overtime. It's been so entertaining.
Yeah. Gaines gets called for his 4th foul. Chris Dillard for a pair. First of 2. Yes. For the former Finger Titan. (109-101). Dillard. 109-102. 6.5. There's a steal by Kenyon Smith. Gets it to Fuqua. Up for, oh, little 2 off that time. They'll get it to Kirksey. Kirksey, the hook shot. No. Rebound, Dillard. Dillard gets it out to Fuqua. Chance to chop it down to 5. It's Fuqua on the high banker. Gets it a foul. The veteran from Proviso East. knocks it down.
Also, Jim Anderson, his third penalty situation.
Sound like they put it on Fisher that time. A 5-point lead can become 4 on the 3-point play opportunity from Nathan Fuqua, former Defensive Player of the Year in another league. And the free pass is good. It's a 4-point lead. Didn't we see something like this the other night?
Yes, we sure did.
Here's the push.
Boy, Gateway had a 13-point lead.
Here's Anderson, fouled by Fuqua. That'll be his third. So now Jake Anderson from Iowa State will go up for a pair. Sam Morgan set the check back into the Scotia. 5:56 to play for this one. First of 2, good.
Well, this is the closest it's been since it was 84-80 in the third quarter after Gateway tied it up at 75 and then took the lead.
Back in for Anderson, yeah. 111-105.
Don't forget, Windy City started off the second half hot on an 8-0 run.
They may have another one in them. Here's Fuqua. Hands off to Johnson. That's Darren Johnson. Kenyon Smith goes underneath for Dillon for the score.
Beautiful dime by Kenyon Smith.
Anderson again. Trying to find somebody. Timeout. Gateway. And we'll take a break with 5.5 to play. Getting good in the hood once again. Steam 111. Groove 107. More action from Chicago in a moment.
It starts with a taste. Coca-Cola Zero. Make it possible.
Back in Chicago, 111-107. Steam lead the force. As we're back to play, Alvin and Washington, Craig Fada getting down to the nitty-gritty here at the Kroc Center in Chicago. And we have seen 2 entertaining ball games.
Oh, yeah, this has been a great day of basketball here at the Kroc Center.
Inbound comes to Lee Fisher. Now it's Jake Anderson. Wait a minute, we've got a what?
Yeah, Tarvin Gaines and Sam Morgan were tied up on the block.
I think it's going to be Morgan here because they're not moving. Yep. Morgan will pick up the foul. That's his second. And they're over.
Well, they announced it on Levante Douglas, 54, but it meant 45.
No. Old man Ron said 45. I heard him distinctly.
Yeah, he said 45, but the public address said 54. So.
Oops. All right, McGill will inbound. Quickly get to Babbitt. A near steal. Fisher to drive. And almost a 3-point play. It's on Fuqua. That's his fourth. So that'll send Lee Fisher from Northern Illinois to the foul line out of the Mid-American Conference. Speaking of mid-majors, as the Southpaw sets up and knocks it down to make it a 5-point lead. Congratulations to Northern Iowa, winners of the Missouri Valley. Belmont, winners of the Ohio Valley. And North Florida, winners of the Atlantic Sun for punching their tickets to the big dance. Fuqua brings it down with a 113-107 advantage. A handoff to Darren Johnson. Johnson almost travels. He gets it to Sam Morgan.
Oh, what a block.
Morgan.
Tarvin Gaines.
Here comes McGill with 5 minutes to play. Anderson barely gets it up. Barely gets it up again. Darren Johnson gets the rebound. He pushes. Jordan Johnson got pretty with it. Now Tarvin Gaines on the drive. Yep. See what happens when you get pretty with the basketball? And now another turnover on the Groove, or is it? Nope. It's Jordan Johnson and Chris Dillard sit down. Morgan and I believe Devion Jenkins are back in. So it's Jenkins, Darren Johnson, Smith, Morgan, and Fuqua for the Groove. It is McGill, Terrell Williams, Fisher, Gaines, and Anderson for the Steam. There's another block.
Windy City had it to within 4 at 109-105, but a
here's a
6-2 run.
At 3, not there. They're settling now. Fisher and Anderson looking to put this into double digits again.
Yeah, now Gateway looking to run a little time here.
Anderson around a couple of screens. Layup not there. Fuqua the rebound. Fuqua in the corner to Devion Jenkins. Gets the clear lane in the left-hand cuff. And almost a steal that time by Smith. 3:49 for the game. Still a lot of time for for a comeback.
Oh, more than enough time for a comeback.
Fisher the inbound.
That's only 2 possessions.
Here's Fisher the push. Foul called on Jenkins as everybody's over the limit. Jenkins will pick up his 5th. Oh, excuse me, Sam Morgan.
Yeah.
Lee Fisher back to the line for 2 more. Try and push it up to an 8-point lead. First of 2, yeah. (116-109). Back in Fisher. No. Rebound, Fuqua. Score and stop. That should be the MO. The try by Fuqua. Almost a rebound there. Rebound, who's got it? It is Kenyon Smith.
Yeah, then a collision between Smith and Gaines. Foul is going to be on Kenyon Smith, his first. 3.5 minutes to play.
Well, you don't convert, and you got to do that.
Well, Johnny Cochran, if you don't convert, you will get hurt.
Yeah. First of 2 up for Gaines is good. 117-109. Fuqua talking it over with Ron Elysiak Sr. as that free throw makes it a 9-point lead once again. The Groove have to convert every time down. Smith hands off to Fuqua. Here's Smith again against Fisher. Starts his drive. Kicks it out to Darren Johnson. Now it's Smith again with 7 to shoot.
Boy, I thought I heard a whistle, but it was apparently a couple of sneakers squeaking at the same time.
Morgan can't hit the baseliner. Still another shot clock. Jenkins to Smith. No. Fouled on the way up, however, with 3 to play. Tarvin Gaines now picks up his 5th foul. So the war of attrition slowly.
Yeah, that's going to be dangerous for Gateway. They've got the 9-point lead with exactly 3 minutes to play.
Kenyon Smith shoots 2.
Kenyon Smith needs to hit these free throws.
And if Tarvin Gaines exits this one, that could make things very interesting down the stretch.
Well,
Gaines went into the 4th quarter with 36 points.
Levante Douglas set to check back in, no. 118, 110. A steal by Devion Jenkins.
Yeah, Fuqua was in there as well.
He drives the lane and the foul with 2:50.
Oh, boy, what a game.
This one's on McGill. His first. Everybody over the limit the rest of the game. It will be Douglas to come in. He'll sit down Johnson.
Well, that's a nice substitution where you can bring Levante Douglas in a situation like this. He's had himself a pretty good game as well.
Chris Babbitt out. Terrence Williams in. I like the way Williams runs the floor in transition for the Steam. Jenkins for the three-point play to chop this back down to 5 once again. No. Now those are going to start coming into play real soon. Williams whips it in. They'll go around, run some clock. Still a 2-possession ball game if you think about it. Williams with 8 to shoot. Anderson looking for the give and go. Starts his go. Anderson, yes!
Good work by Jake Anderson.
Here's Smith back the other way. Smith gives it to Morgan. Almost traveled, stays with it. Here's Douglas. In the trees, good!
Oh, what a shot by Levante Douglas.
But now Windy City has to stop. They've got to stop.
Still only a 2-possession game with 2 minutes, though. No panic time yet.
Wow,
Yeah.
Fuqua called for the foul.
That's 5 on Nate.
What they're saying is he didn't let the receiver of the ball come down. McGill comes back to the line for 2 more. 2:04 to play for the game.
Boy, this has been some entertaining basketball.
First of 2 for McGill is good. 121, 114. Timeout called. Let's take a break. 2:04 remaining here in Chicago. Still anybody's ball game, but at the way things are going right now, the Gateway Steam could walk away with a 4th straight win. Not only that, a 4th straight win over both Chicago clubs.
Yeah.
That's where they feasted on since the last week in February.
Well, and they've played the Bloomington Flex close as well, so it's not like Gateway is not capable of hanging with the bigger dogs in the league.
Rashad McGill for the back end of the 2-shot foul. That's no good. The rebound is to who?
Levante Douglas had it. Lee Fisher was there as well.
But they're going to call the foul on Fisher.
Foul. They said white 40, I thought.
No,
there is no white 40 on the floor.
No, they're going to call it on Lee Fisher.
Yeah, that's the 3rd on Fisher.
Whoops.
Nobody home.
So, with the clock stopped at 2:04, Levante Douglas looks to chop this lead back to 5 once again. Now, if those last 2 back ends were made, this could be potentially a 2-point ball game. First of 2 on the way. No.
Boy.
I tell you.
Heading into the 4th quarter, the Groove 16 of 21 from the free throw line. I beg your pardon, the Steam 17 of 25, the Groove 16 of 21.
And that may be the difference right now. Back in. That is good. 121, 115. Gains on the inbound.
Gotten it to within 6 on 3 different occasions since they cut it to 4, but they've been able to get no closer.
And timeout called. Gaines right in front of Ron Elysiak Sr. And now the Groove just kind of communicating on defense there.
Yeah, that's what they're trying to get settled.
And I think if you're Handy Johnson, you don't mind seeing that.
Yeah, Nate Fuqua's in there, veteran leader.
No more timeout.
Yeah.
By the way, no more timeouts by the Steam. We just got that signal from the officiating crew. So the deal here is if Chicago can force them into a bad play on the sidelines, that's big. There's still a lot of time left.
Oh, yeah. Still only a 2-possession game with 1:56.
But they've got to convert on their end. Whether it's a field goal, whether it's a free throw, they've missed 3 of their last 6 free throws. This is a 3-point game right now. If they make those 2 back ends and the front end by Levante Douglas.
As a team on the season, Windy City shooting 68.1% from the free throw line.
Here we go. It's McGill to get the inbound. He gets it to Fisher. McGill will guide. 10 to shoot. Fisher to Williams.
Now a whistle away from the ball.
Douglas will get hit with that one. And Douglas is his 4th.
Should be his 4th.
We've got
His 4th.
Yep.
Team over the women.
So Tarvin Gaines back to the line for 2 more. Looking to push the lead back to 8. First of 2 up. Yeah. Good stroke for the southpaw 6'8" kid out of Jacksonville State. 6'7", excuse me. Jordan Johnson and Chris Dillard back in the game for the Groove. Looking for offense, defense here. Back in. Yeah. 123, 115. Jordan Johnson starts his push, hands off to Fuqua with 1:40 to play. Fuqua trying to guide, go around a double high screen. Starts to drive to the baseline and will draw the foul. It's on Fisher, his 4th. Fuqua is going right at Fisher.
Yeah, Fuqua knows when to attack.
Fuqua, who started Iowa Wesleyan, helped the team to the NAIA Division II tournament, will hit the first of 2. Offense, defense. Here's Morgan and Smith again. Fuqua will get substituted for Dillard on the next dead ball. Back in. Splash. 123, 117. I'm not sure if they're going to get an 8 count here. 126 to play. Anderson almost traveled. Taken away by Douglas. Got to score here. Smith gives it to Fuqua. Double team, triple team, kicks it out. Here comes Devion Jenkins. Foul called on the way up with 1:08.
It's 2 on Terrell Williams, but more importantly,
Devion Jenkins needs to hit both of these.
yeah, more importantly, the Windy City Groove can score while the clock is stopped. Can get it to within 4 if he makes them both.
First of 2. No.
Boy, and the Groove just clanking them from the free throw line here down the key stretch of the game.
That is 4 misses in the last 2 minutes. Here's the back end. It is a 5-point game. Fisher quickly down the other way. Fisher double teams, take it away. Douglas has it. He's got Morgan. Morgan to Jenkins.
They better hurry.
Here comes 3 from Fuqua. Bang! From way downtown, bang! 123, 121. Another fantastic finish in Chicago. Almost an offensive foul. Here's Anderson. Jump ball. No foul called. Ooh, it's on Devion Jenkins. His 5th. Wow, 44.2 left. Jake Anderson for 2.
They announced it as his 3rd, I thought. I had him for 4.
First of 2 for Jake Anderson. It's good. The Groove need to hope for a miss and get it down for a possible 3. Jenkins, Jordan Johnson, Darren Johnson back on the floor for the Groove. Still a lot of time left.
Oh, yeah.
Back in. Anderson. Good. 125, 121. Jordan Johnson starts the push. 19-second differential. You know, they're looking for Jordan Johnson in the corner. Make that Jordan Johnson on the drive. Can't get it. Dillard can't get the rebound. They had Darren Johnson.
Now you got a foul here, yeah.
Yeah, had no choice now, 29.2.
Boy, a 4-point game, and you think of all the missed free throws by the Windy City Groove here in this fourth quarter.
That's the difference right now. Jordan Johnson will get called for the foul. Anderson back for 2 more to push it up to 6. Offense, defense again. First of 2. Yep. They got it as close as 2 points.
Yeah, after the three-pointer by Nate Fuqua with 55 seconds to play, got it to 123-121.
Last 3 have been at the line for Jake Anderson. 29.2. Back end's good, 127-121. Morgan. Here's Smith. Smith can't get too pretty. Here's Nate Fuqua. Fuqua almost stripped. Gets it back. 18.
Oh, they got to get a shot off.
Nah.
No, they're not going to.
There they are now.
Boy, I don't get why they're trying to work it inside. They're down.
And Kenyon Smith. When you get too pretty with the basketball, that's exactly what happened.
Boy, I don't know why they weren't working for a three-point basket there. They're down 6 points.
Boy, this is going to hurt. This is going to hurt.
With less than 30 seconds to play.
Fisher breaks 3. 5 seconds, foul, Devion Jenkins. I'm telling you, this, if anything, this loss is going to really hurt the Groove because they had an opportunity to really make some noise. They missed 5 free throws down the stretch. That last one, that last possession, got too pretty with it.
Well, at that point, though, I don't know if they had already chewed up too much time, and had they even converted down there, it only would have been a 2, and they would have been about the 10-second mark, and they still would have been trailing by 4 points.
I would rather have a 4-point deficit than where I am now with 7. Or at least get something where it's going to get you a 3-point play. Timeout.
Yeah, but a 3-point play when you're down by 4 doesn't help.
129, 121. I tell you, this is the difference between young teams and veteran teams. And for what it's worth, most of the roster moves in this league by the other clubs have been with veterans from other countries.
Yeah, you've seen what Champagne's been able to do. You see what the St. Louis River Sharks have done, bringing in guys that have had international and D-League experience.
You know, it shows. It shows because of the way that they're able to close out games.
Boy, how about this? With Champaign ending the winning streak by the St. Louis River Sharks last night, the hottest team in the MPBA is the Gateway Steam.
Yeah, this is going to be a 4-game win streak. And here's the 3, nothing. 129, 121 is how this one will end. But go back to 5 missed free throws and a really sloppy last possession by the Windy City Groove, and that's why the Groove fallen this time to 2-12. Their 7th straight loss. The Gateway Steam continue to hold firm on 4th place. They're now 5-9 on the year. They are 2 full games up on the Chicago Force for 4th place.
Yeah, Gateway making a nice little late season run here. Well, mid to late season run.
Tarvin Gaines, once again, our coaches a player of the game. We'll look to talk with him in a moment. Stay right here. This is MPBA Sunday on the MPBA Broadcast Network. Sunday, the MPBA Broadcast Network. 2 exciting games in Chicago. Unfortunately, both Chicago teams go down hard. The Groove lose to the Gateway Steam 129-121. This is the Coach's Aid post-game report brought to you by Coach's Aid, the official broadcast partner of the Midwest Professional Basketball Association. I'm Alvin Washington. Joining me today, Handy Johnson, the freshly minted head coach of the Windy City Groove. Welcome, Coach.
Thank you, sir.
You had a lead, a double-digit lead for a good portion of this game. Unfortunately, a bad late third quarter somehow did this team in. You had your chances down the stretch. 5 missed free throws and a really bad last possession did the team in.
Yes, that's correct. I call those 50-50 balls, and more importantly, those free throws really, really hurt us. We got to take advantage of opportunities that are there.
I'll tell you, Devion Jenkins has been a real bright spot on this club. 27 points for him, 9 of 13 from the field, but he had 3 misses from the foul line and 3 big misses.
That is correct. Small things will always come back and bite you in the butt when you actually have those opportunities. He did have a very good game, but we talk all the time about the small things that actually beat you in most cases.
Talking with Handy Johnson, the head coach of the Windy City Groove. They go down hard, 129-121. Unfortunately, this is their 7th straight loss. They fall 2.5 back of the Gateway Steam for 4th place. Nate Fuqua coming on strong as of late with 24 points. A 3-pointer brought you within 2.
That's correct.
But the misses down the stretch.
That's correct. That's true. Small things will add up on you very fast. We got a good look going to the basket with Jordan Johnson. You know, sometimes you get a call, sometimes you don't. But possessions become very important.
Levante Douglas has come on strong as of late, dropping in 22 this evening on 7 of 13 from the field, 8 of 10 from the foul line. Again, the 2 misses. 2 misses,
that's right. They add up. I'm really looking forward to seeing the stats and seeing how many free throws we actually missed.
You are 28 for 37.
Whoa.
That's the difference in the game.
That's the game. That is the game. That's correct.
Yeah. We were 5 of 16 from 3-point range. But again, very entertaining game to say the least. Unfortunately, we haven't seen a win from the Groove since the middle game of the Crosstown Showdown before you got here.
Yeah, that's correct. Well, we're going to try to do something about that in our next game coming up, that's for sure. These guys play real hard. They play hard, mental breakdowns in little small areas, but they give it their all, and you can't ask for more. The wins will come with this type of hard play.
Our thanks to Handy Johnson, the head coach of the Windy City Groove, joining us here on the Coach's 8 postgame report. His team takes it on the chin, 129-121. Unfortunately, a 7th straight loss, but not for a lack of trying. Coach, thank you very much. We will see you later this week.
Thank you now. Thank you for having me.
Yours truly and the Big Dog will wrap it up from Chicago to recap 2 very exciting games, 129-121. Groove lose to the Steam on the MPBA Broadcast Network.
Look at dude right here in them tight old slacks. Oh, look at that hairline, man. It's way pushed back. And that tie's mad ugly. It's a horrible pick. Somebody get me some pills. This dude is making me sick.
True that. All right.
Okay.
Hold on to my clean shirts and please don't get them dirty, cause I know you're gonna drool when you hear me getting wordy. Cause I'm a walking, talking, smacking human encyclopedia. You thought I'd stop there, but now I'm getting greedier. I'm a promotion in motion, and by now you got the notion that I got strategic plans coming out my ears. My key points and decks will bring y'all to tears. Turning pennies into dimes, I shift paradigms. But how you gonna let a marketing rep rip your rep and slip adept rhyme schemes and that your mind only dreams in? I bet you all wonder why my rhyme is so tight. I did stay at a Holiday Inn Express last night. Oh, thanks.
Stay smart. Stay at a Holiday Inn Express.
Back in here in Chicago as we get ready to wrap up the Coach's Aid post-game report. Brought to you by Coach's Aid, the official broadcast partner of the Midwest Professional Basketball Association. Also brought to you in part by No More Week. What are you using your voice for? Hopefully it's to end domestic and partner violence. For more, go online at www.nomore.org. Alvin Washington with the big dog, Craig Fada. Two very entertaining basketball games here at the Kroc Center. The people got their money's worth on this Sunday. Man.
No question. A couple of great games. The Flex and the Force in the early one, and then you got the Steam and the Groove here in the nightcap. And boy, this season really has been fun, and there's still a lot of it left before we hit the playoffs in April. And we've got some exciting games coming up this week. We've got the Swarm and the Flex coming up on Thursday in Bloomington. We've got the River Sharks and Force on Friday. River Sharks and Groove here on Saturday. So St. Louis coming up a tough swing. The Force and the Groove on back-to-back nights. And then on Saturday, the Flex and the Swarm again, that one in Champaign. That'll be the final time those two teams have played. The Flex own a 2-0 season series lead over the Swarm. So you got to start thinking about tiebreakers and things of that nature. But what a game here in this nightcap as the Windy City Groove got to within 2 inside of a minute with 55 seconds left on a Nate Fuqua three-pointer to get the game to 123-121. But then poor free throw shooting by the Groove down the stretch and good free throw shooting by the Steam ended up being the difference in this one. You look at the margin and say 8 points, and free throws didn't really come into play. But, had the Groove connected on some free throws earlier, that changes the tenor of the final minute and a half.
As a matter of fact, 28 of 37 from the foul line. That is the difference. If they make those last 9, this is a 1-point win for the Groove.
Well, even if they make half of them down the stretch, it's closer. And like I said, when you get to within 2, and even if you make half of those 9 that you miss, that puts you in a different position. You're up by 2 instead of down by 2 headed down the stretch.
129-121, our game here between the Gateway Steam, who win it and go to a 5-9 on the year, their 4th straight win. The Steam, led by Tarvin Gaines, 48 points. He was 6 of 7 from the foul line, also had a couple of three-pointers. 21 from Will Kirksey, who just tore up the middle in the third quarter. 16 from Jake Anderson. He was a perfect 12 of 12 from the foul line. Now that is a definite league-leading ledger.
Yeah, really, neither team actually shot the ball terribly from the free throw line throughout the course of the game. Both teams right around the 75-76% mark, so it's not like one team shot, 50%. But, again, a couple of free throws key here and there down the stretch, and that's the difference in the game.
For the Windy City Groove, Devion Jenkins led the team with 27. 24 from Nate Fuqua, 22 from Levante Douglas, 15 from Kenyon Smith. Rebound-wise, 8 rebounds for Tarvin Gaines, 6 for Jake Anderson, 6 for Will Kirksey. For the Groove, 8 rebounds for Levante Douglas, 6 each for Andre Johnson, Nate Fuqua, and Christopher Dillard. Let's see. How about 6 assists for Jake Anderson with 2 steals? Brandon McGill had 5 assists and 2 steals. And 2 blocks for Tarvin Gaines. For the Groove, Kenyon Smith, 5 assists, 3 steals, but 3 big turnovers down the stretch. 3 blocks for Andre Johnson, 2 for Sam Morgan. But the important number, 129, 121, the final. The Gateway Steam improved to 5-9 and maintain their stranglehold on 4th place in the MPBA, while the Windy City Groove dropped to 2-12, their 7th straight loss. We pack up, and we won't be back until Thursday when
Bloomington Flex hosts the Champagne Swarm in Bloomington. Jim Ahart and I will be on the call in that one, and that's going to be a good one.
We'll be
Swarm
back.
looked really strong against the River Sharks the other night.
Yeah, that should be a good matchup there. We'll be back here at the Kroc Center come Friday night when the River Sharks and the Force go at it. Then on Saturday, the first of a doubleheader, as the River Sharks and Groove will go at it as well. So 129-121, Gateway knocks off Windy City. Early game, Bloomington over the Force. Had to come back from 13 down to win that one, 100-94. Thanks to our executive producer, Dean O'Neill. Coordinating producer, Chris Phillips, and the crew did a great job today. Along with my tag team partner, Craig, the Big Dog Feta, Alvin Washington, reminding you, this has been a very special presentation of the Midwest Professional Basketball Association, copyright 2015. Until Thursday night from U.S. Cellular Arena in Bloomington, we say good night from Chicago and take care, everyone. This is the MPBA Broadcast Network.